Welcome in, watchers and listeners, to Sport Talk with Dwat. If you would please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And with that being said, let's get this show on the road.
All right. We are back on a Sunday here on Sport Talk, episode number 41. I've got my buddy back on the show. He's back for some more. What's going on, Randy?
Not much. What's going on, D-Walt?
Oh man, just out here on a Sunday, living the dream. Nice warm Sunday afternoon here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah, the weather's changed, ain't it? It's
It has.
changed.
It has. And I am glad you're back on the show, Randy. We got a lot to go over with some college football at the end. So we got college basketball. We got some fishing from Knoxville, and we got fishing from the weekend. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to start with the weekend. I saw the boat picture there, Randy. You got
Yeah,
there on the water. How'd it go?
it was kind of tough. It was kind of tough. I hadn't been. I went to Chickamauga this weekend, and I hadn't been on Chickamauga in probably less than. I didn't even fish at none last year, so 2 years since the last time I'd been on Chickamauga, and it was tough. But I did catch one fish, and I caught it up and around Wire Branch. I was throwing a little crankbait out there and on a drop, and I caught one fish. And I think my dad went with me. Which last week my dad was he was very, very sick last week. He got high blood pressure. His blood pressure was sky high, so that's why I didn't get to do much last week. And had some fluid around his heart, but he's doing better. He wanted to go, so I got to get him out. Got him some vitamin D, what you'd call it, some sunshine, and I mean it was nice out there yesterday. Just the fish, for me, the fish wasn't biting, and everybody that I seen around me didn't do that good. I didn't see a lot of people, and when you're fishing, you can look around, see other boats or see people fishing, you see them reeling in something. I seen a lot of people doing what I do and casting a lot.
Yeah, I went fishing as well on Saturday evening, and just didn't have much luck out there, Randy. Just I was trying, I was out there casting, and just wasn't getting any bites. Did some of the live bait minnows with my wife, and yeah, for her, that was probably her first time going, maybe ever, it sounded like. So she had a good time. She liked to get the pictures made, and she was fishing. I'd take a picture of her. She'd take a picture of me. We'd do all that song and dance for the Facebook and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. But
Yeah, I love it. I mean, to me, it's just. I mean, yeah, I love catching fish. I do. I love you couldn't beat that. But sometimes just getting out there with family and enjoying yourself, and just that's just what it's all about. I mean,
hell yeah.
my dad's getting up in age, and I mean, I know I probably ain't got much more time with him, but hey, when he wants to go, I want to take him.
Yeah.
That's
So I was out there, Randy, and just didn't catch anything, but had a good time. It's kind of tough right now. It's kind of got the interchange of the water is kind of down right now. The water's down. So as someone that just goes on docks or banks, just got to find the right spot. And it wasn't for me last night, but I'm gonna bounce back and gonna check it out from time to come. Here we're gonna get back out there, go at it again.
yeah,
But that was my
that's all you can
weekend
do.
for me. Yeah. Um, so we will just gonna shift right into I got some news of the week as well. So Tech has hired Scott Cross as the new men's basketball coach at Georgia Tech. I think it's gonna be a good hire. He's younger, and that's a little bit of news that come out for Tech. So that's a little bit of
It's
some
good.
news on that. So that was kind of good to hear. We're gonna go to the but first, before we go to the Bassmasters Classic, Randy, we got some fan mail from my
Got some
good
fan
buddy
mail.
Casper, my co-host. He has got some mail for you. So why were there more fish caught this year compared to 2023, size wise and amount wise?
Well, what happened is, I mean, let's see, that 2023, say 7 years ago, Fort Loudon, Tellico, and Watch Bar, they done a stocking program. They done that, I'm going to say 15 years ago on Chickamauga and Nickajack. And they put these Florida stringer bass in. And the Florida stringer bass, they grow pretty aggressive sometimes. And probably so that's been 7 years ago. See, 3 years ago, the fish that they was probably catching. I heard they didn't have a problem catching fish. It's just trying to find a size. Them Florida stringers was probably 2 pounds, 3 pounds fish. Now they're starting. They develop real quick, and they're growing. That's why they grow, and that's why the difference in the way that they change. I don't know if you've probably seen one of my posts that I posted 3 or 4 weeks ago when the guy caught the 15.5 pound largemouth on nickajack.
Yeah.
It's the Tennessee state record. It's a Florida stringer fish. And that's what they do. They grow fast. That fish is probably it might be an 8-year-old fish. Where a lot of fish that old are probably going to be 15 years old. They say a foot. That's what they usually think. It takes they'll come out as minor. They say these fish they'll put them in there. They like say 3 or 4 inches. In 6 weeks, they're 10 inches, and some of them's a foot. So they grow pretty fast, and that's what turned around Fort Loudon and Tellico. And I'm glad to see it. I hope they keep doing it. And they normally, after they stock it, they'll stock it every year up to about 5 years. So they probably slow down. Then they'll come back and stock it again. That's why the difference in the weights was. And I'm glad to see it. I didn't know they had stocked the lake. I knew they'd stocked Watch Bar, and Watch Bar is right below Tellico, but I didn't know they stocked Fort Loudon. And somebody was saying that. I watched a podcast or something right after that, and they said that's what happened.
Oh, that's cool to hear because I wasn't sure how either. So that's pretty cool that they stocked them, and that's good for the fishermen. And
That's good for
everybody.
fishing. You got a lot of people, a lot of lakes in the Tennessee Valley in the Tennessee River chain that does that now. And you got some of the bait and tackle shops. They'll say if you buy, there's one down here in Gunnersville called Gunnersville Bait and Tackle, and they've got a good thing going. If you buy over $20, they'll put $5 in a pot, and they'll send that to this stocking program, and they'll help the Alabama Game and Life stock the lake with bass and crappie and everything, and that's just part of it because the best how you say it, conservation is us taking care of the lakes and stocking them.
Yeah, that's a very true point there. That's on us, and if we can help in some kind of way,
we can help,
and then that's going to be very key to the future of fishing, I think.
It is, exactly. And that's what the main thing is. That's all the main thing is about, is keeping the conservation up and keeping everything else up because of, I'm not that old, but I'm up there. But if I want my grandkids and their kids to fish later on, to do this, and same way with your kids, we want to make sure we keep stocking for them to have something to do.
Yeah,
and that's part of it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I know when I was younger, I used to complain how much license cost. And now it's even more.
Yeah.
But as I see what they're doing, it makes me understand it more.
I bought mine, and they were $33, $36, something like that. So so I got 2 of them, and so that's part of it. But it all kind of goes back into the pot, and
it all goes back into the pot. That's part of their conservation. That's part of that pays the game wardens and stuff. That does pay some of that, but that does also pay some for them to stock the programs. Same way, if I don't trout fish, but you'll hear people trout fishing up around Tellico and Hiawassee, and even up around Gatlinburg. They have stocking programs that they will release them trout every so often, and that's what part of that does. And so it makes you think, well, sometimes I complain about how much license costs every time I have to buy them, but I'm thinking, I know what it's going for.
Yep, that sums it up right there. All right, this is the second mail question there from Casper. This is the big one right here on Sport Talk. We're going to get it all figured out on what your thought is on forward-facing sonar. Do you like it or do you not like it?
Forward-facing sonar. I don't have it. If I had it, I'd use it. And what it comes down to is you've got a couple of the older guys in that they're washed up. Best way to say it, they're washed up and they don't like it. But if you hear them talk, they're all about wanting the younger people to do it. Well, this is part of it. Things have changed so much in the live scope and the forward facing sonar has been out for about 7 years, maybe somewhere around in there. Well, before that, they had side scan where that's what I got on my boat. You can look to the side and you can see spots of fish and you see all this. And they was all for that. What's the difference? I like it. If I had it, I'd use it. And I mean, it's just, but what it amounts to is, I mean, the bass fisherman, if you're a professional fisherman, you got it on your boat and you got to have it. But what it amounts to is they don't want to change. But that's fine. They've got different circuits now. You got the MFL, you got the Major League Fishing, which they use forward facing sonar, but you can only use it one period. Then you got the Bassmasters, what was up there last week. They got the Classic. They could use it during the Classic, but any other time, 1 week they use it, one tournament they use it, the next tournament they can't use it, and that's cool. I mean, they had to do something because they had a lot of people complaining, a lot of belly acres that was getting beat by these young guns. But we wanted to grow this sport.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it amounts to. We wanted to grow it, but now when it's growing and we got these young studs, what you want to call it, coming up through the system and kicking their butts, now they're hurt. Their feelings are hurt. But you got another circuit that just started 3 or 4 years ago, I think, maybe 2 years ago. It's called the MPFL. They don't use forward facing sonar. So you got your choice. If you don't want to use forward facing sonar, go to MPFL. But I mean, I like it. But you got one, like they say, you got one guy that really has pushed it, and it's because he's a YouTube subscriber. He's got a YouTube channel, and he puts it down. He calls it a cheater box. It's not a cheater box. I made a comment, and you probably heard me the other day at work. Somebody was talking about it. I said, "What makes a difference of somebody using that live scope, forward facing sonar, as somebody deer hunting under corn? They ain't no difference. He's probably deer hunted under corn. His name is, I don't care, call it out. His name is Randy Bullock. He's got a YouTube channel. It's called Intelligent or something angler, and I mean he is totally against the forward facing sonar. He calls it a cheater box, and he's put that Dylan nut down hard. And I mean, it's just the Dylan that boy, the Nut brothers. They're the real deal. They're good. They are good. They know their electronics. And who wouldn't? I mean, this younger generation, that's what they grew up with electronics in their hands. So they're going to be good at it. Or us older ones, we've had to learn how to adapt to it. I mean, I like it. I think what they ought to do to make everybody happy is keep it like it is in the Bassmasters. I mean, and I hate that they're going to, next year they said they're not going to do forward facing sonar on a Classic, but I think the next year they ought to. They ought to do it the same way they're doing it right now. One tournament you do it, one tournament you don't. That makes everybody happy. And you'll still see some of these young kids. I mean, they'll still kick your butt. That's just, I mean, my boat, let's see, 3 years ago now, I put new trolling motor, new depth finders, new batteries. I was setting my boat up for stuff, and I mean, I'm ready for the live scope, but it's just going to cost me about $2,000, and I just didn't have that. I mean, I did, but I needed to use it somewhere else. I'm hoping somebody's going to get a new one and want to sell down. Say where they was asking, you bought it new for $2,000, you can maybe get it for $400 or $500. That's what I'm hoping to do. I mean, that's what I do on a lot of stuff. I mean, just save your money when you can.
Right. I think I like it, Randy.
I do.
It's technology. It's new. These older people don't like it, kind of like you just said. And I feel like if it's going to help you catch more fish, and you kind of see the fish and see what they're biting on and what they're not biting on, and kind of get right there on them, you still got to catch them. It's not like a net. You're still
Yeah.
catching them with your
You're
reel.
still
You're still
killing. You're
bringing them
still
in.
catching them. You're not throwing nothing secret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're throwing. Yeah, you got to throw a minnow. And I don't know how to throw a minnow, but I mean, if I had it, I'd learn how to throw one. One of them minnows, what they throw. But I mean, that's just that's just you got to change with the times. And I mean, that's just part of it. Everything's just getting so more high tech, and things change. I mean, it's not like it used to be 20, 25, 30 years ago. You just go down a bank and throw something down the bank, and you
Yeah.
catch fish. You know what I mean? Finding fish. That's
Mhm.
what it. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. That's what I grew up, and that's what I done yesterday. I didn't have live scope. If I had a live scope, I might could have caught some fish. And I mean, it makes it easier for you catching fish. You can find them. You might pull up a spot and you drop that live scope and you turn it over and look. Ain't nothing there. Let's go on somewhere else. That's what they do. And I mean, if it was just for one or two people, I'd say no. But everybody's got their opportunity to buy it. And if you're a pro fisherman, you're gonna have that. You 9 times out of 10, some of them ain't sponsored by electronics, but they still get money. And they can get their own electronics. And some of them are sponsored by electronics. Garmin, you got Lowrance, and you got Humminbird. I think there's another brand, but it's not as big. But that's your three major brands. And you just say, hey, I'm going to use this brand. And I mean, so that's what they do. And I mean, everybody's got, if, like I said, if it was just one or two people using it, I'd say, no, it ain't fair. But hey, it's for everybody. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't.
Yeah. That's a good way to sum it up right there. It's a big talk of the town here the last couple of weeks, I
Yeah.
would say. And they all have it and they all can use it. And I say just gonna use it, and let's not get online and talk bad about it like that one guy is. I don't care for all that. Like, we're
I
all
don't
out here
care
to
for
catch
all that.
fish, and that's not what I want to hear.
I mean, what was so amazing about that young kid that won that? I mean, he was just a 22-year-old kid that,
Yeah.
I mean, he's fished all. He started it. I mean, I didn't know this until after it's all said and done. He was a high school angler at Sail Creek,
Yeah.
and then he worked his way up. And I mean, and he get one thing I liked about it. He gave all honor to God.
He did.
And and I thought, man, that's for a 22-year-old kid. You got a good head on your shoulder, buddy.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. And I think you sent me. I didn't know he had done a podcast with Dave Mercer, and I watched it. I mean, and he talked about. He said, I don't like live scoping either, but I do it because he knows that's what's going to win. He said, I'd rather just go down the banks and do this, but he said, you gotta change with the times.
Yeah. You gotta change with the time. That's a good way. I like that. Change it with the time, and the time is here to change. And
Time is here to
these
change.
guys can belly ache, or they can just change. And let's change. And let's have that on the boats, and let's have all these pros use it, and
Yeah,
let's move
and I
on.
mean, I take it. I mean, you hear a lot of people talk about it, and I mean, if I ever got it, I'd try it. They say if you get on a bunch of crappie,
Yeah.
and crappies come good eating.
Mhm.
That's what I watched a podcast a couple of weeks ago with the guys that won it on Gunnersville. I mean, they said we used live scope. He said, but we hadn't really used it much, but we learned how to use the live scope when live scope come out for crappie fishing in the wintertime. He said, you just find them schools crappie and just sit there and catch it. And he
Yeah.
said, we took that and put that in the bass thing. And he said, see what it done? And I said, I thought to myself, if I had it, that's what I do. Find a mess of crappie sometimes and catch a mess of crappie, or you sit there and catch a mess of bass. It's whatever you like to do. And I thought, that'd be pretty cool.
Yep. All right, we will shift into the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee. Dylan Nutt, 22 years old, first classic attempt, 66 pounds, 13 ounces. Friday was 19 pounds, 5 ounces. Saturday was the big bag, 26 pounds, 11 ounces. And Sunday was 20 pounds, 13 ounces. Day two was a huge bag, Randy. What did he
Yeah.
catch his fish on, and how did he catch them?
He caught his fish on. I ain't got one of them. The way I take it, it's a new bait that just come out, and it's called the Berkeley Lab Series. It's a 6 inch. I think he said it was a 6 inch bait, and I mean, that was the big controversy at Saturday, Friday and Saturday. One of the commentaries for Bassmaster, Mark Zona, and I like Mark Zona. Mark Zona's a nut. He goes on some kinds of crap all the time. And what I liked about it, Mark come to him and said, "What'd you catch your fish on?" He said, "I can't tell you, and I'm not going to tell you." And it kind of caused some controversy with. And Mark went back to the motel and thought about it. And he said, "I got to find out what this is." And he called him again. He said, "I'm not going to tell you." And somebody said, because he's fishing a prototype bait that's new on the circuit, and he was told not to say it. So Mark respected that. And I guess now, since Berkeley found out he wanted on there and everybody's wanting to know, I don't think the bait totally comes out till probably they'll have ICAST in July. I say it'll come out after ICAST. But it's a minnow bait. I don't have no minnows around here. Or I'd show you. It's a minnow bait, and they use it. What they do is they throw it up there and they just kind of slow reel it, and they'll stop it where they see them fish on that live scope, and they'll shake it.
Mm-hmm.
And Berkeley has got something in their baits that just throws off some type of scent or something, and the fish go crazy about it. I've got some right here. It's called the Berkeley Power Bait.
Yeah.
And it's got a special scent on there that throws stuff out there where I've had stuff like this. It's a Zoom, and Zoom makes a good bait, but they don't have that scent in there. And that Berkeley, just something about the Berkeley baits, they're a little bit advanced on everybody else on putting attraction on their baits. Where a lot of these baits right here, you got to use, they got stuff called thump gel and smelly jelly that you put on there to make it scent. But that Berkeley just gives some type of scent to it, and it just drives the fish crazy. And that's what what I was told. And he showed a box. It's in a box, about not a size. I'm gonna say a 10-inch box, 10 by 6-inch box, small box. You know, I'd say this bait probably costs if I'm guessing, $10 or more. Now, I think there's only 3 or 4 baits in there, so it's a high dollar bait. It's gonna be a high dollar bait, but if you're gonna catch fish like that where nobody else caught fish, it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, that was a big weekend for him. That was all, for all the weight that he caught. That was, it was all new record totals for 3 days for the Bassmasters. So he was breaking records. He won a bunch of money. He won a 300,000 plus dollars,
Yeah.
and he earns. I mean, he's out there for 3 days fishing, plus the practice days, out there on the boat, just him taking care of business. And he's got all these fans on boats around him, maybe
Yeah.
family and friends, all just kind of watching him. And he went out there and he kicked their butt and just
Yeah.
made them like it. But he's very humble.
He's very humble. That's what I liked about him.
Then he gives it all to God for the praise and glory. So that's great. These guys in fishing that I also learned while I was up there, Randy, was they don't complain a whole lot.
No.
I feel like if they had a bad day, they had a bad day.
I had a bad day. I mean, you'll hear
stage.
that a lot. I mean, and it's an individual sport. If you're going to blame anybody, it's your own self.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're going to complain, you don't want to complain about yourself. I mean, you just hear them. I had a bad day.
Yeah.
I like that guy that he's got that bait and tackle shop there in Hicks, and Dylan Farron, I think that's what you call it, owns Talk and Tackle. See, he qualified for the Bassmaster Classic because he fishes the opens. But when you fish the Classic, you got the Nationals, what Dylan qualified under, that's through the college series. And then you got the opens. That's where you want to work your way to be elite series. And Dylan Farron was fishing the openings last year, and he won one up in Chesapeake Bay. That's up, I think, around somewhere up in North Carolina, not North Carolina, New York. I'm sorry, New York. And he won that tournament last year. I think it was last September or October he won. And that's how he got to qualify for it. But you'll hear him that first day, he said he only weighed in like 8 pounds. He said, I couldn't catch them. He said they kept coming off my bait. He said I'd try to, he said I wasn't trying to boat flip them or do nothing. He said they'd come up and they just make a move and come off bait. They wasn't taking the bait good. The second day, he had a bag of close to 21 pound, I think, and that put him from. I think he was setting 50. There's 55 boats. I think he was setting 50th, and it moved him up to 20th because he had a good bag the next day. He said, if I might could have, he said, I don't think I could have compete with Dylan, but he said I could have been up there with him. And I mean, think about that Dylan Nutt, man. Now his life has changed. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be, he qualified automatically next year to fish the Elite Series. That's just I mean, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, for most people, I mean, it takes them a long time to qualify now because you gotta fish against some young studs. I mean, and he's one of them, which I'd say he could probably, if he had to fish it, the Open Series, he could probably qualify. That's how good Dylan. Dylan, the Nutt brothers, you got Dylan and you got his brother, and his brother won the college series up there.
Yeah.
And I mean, them two boys, they put me in mind, and somebody was talking about it, and I thought, yeah, it does. You had a few years ago, you had the Lee brothers, Jordan Lee and Matt Lee, and they fished Auburn and for Auburn. That's the only thing I had against them. They fished for Auburn. I ain't an Auburn fan, nowhere. Football, nothing. But they fished for Auburn, and they both qualified for the Elite Series through that series. And Jordan's is a classic winner back to back. Matt now, I think he does a lot of commentating. He'll fish here, a tournament here and there. But I mean, they was studs like that then. Them two put me in mind of them. They're good fishermen. I mean, I would not want to be on a body of water fishing a tournament against them two.
Yeah, they're gonna be around for years to
Yeah,
come.
they're
That
gonna be
name is
around.
gonna be heard for a long time. Let's go over some of the views for the Bassmaster Classic. 6.5 million on Fox, and that is up 41%, Randy.
Yeah,
I love this
no.
as a sport, as a fan. People are watching. I love it.
I mean, it's bass fishing is really coming on in the last few. I mean, it's the last 15 years. I know it's changed a lot, and I mean now they're putting it out there on TV to watch and this and that, and it has changed a lot, and it's helping the sport. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I didn't think it. I knew they'd get a lot of watching, but not that much. I mean, I thought, wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they had it at, I think, one of the best places they could have it at. I wished I could have went up there. I mean, I hate that I didn't, but I had some issues with my dad, and I wanted to stay and take care of him. Me and him watched some of it on our phone and stuff, like on my phone and stuff. And he had to give me his 2 cents on everything, and that's the way he is. And but I mean, it's just amazing for everything that was right there at the Classic. I mean, you got the expo, then you walk right down there to the Food City Arena, and you can see the weigh-in. And then you walk another feet, and you can see where they could blast off for the tournaments at. And I mean, it's just that's what everybody says. That place, the way it's set up, it's just set up for the Bassmaster Classic. Everything's right there in walking distance if you're in good health.
Yep. Which I was there, and that's what we did. I parked here, I walked here for the expo, then I walked to the weigh-in, and it was all within probably a mile and a half of,
It ain't very
it
far.
wasn't far. It was all wasn't too hilly, a few little hills in there, but not
Yeah.
really that bad. It wasn't trafficy with car traffic. I was able to get on a sidewalk and walk peacefully to the
Yeah.
basketball arena, and it held all the people in the basketball arena. The weigh-in was really cool. They had all the trucks come through with
Yeah.
the trucks and the boats, and then they pull the fish out of the bags. And the announcer, he gets up there, he gets the crowd and
He gets crowded.
hyped
And
up.
I've not seen one since I think I've seen one since Mercer, been to one live since Mercer done one, but Mercer can really get you upset. I remember going to one. I mean, this has been back in the, I'm going to say 87, 88. It's whenever the last time the Classic was at Chickamauga.
Oh,
And they went out of the dam at Chickamauga Dam, and they done the weigh-in at the Roundhouse.
oh,
And I'm thinking I was 17 or so.
oh, okay.
So that's I'm thinking I was around that age. And we went in there and watched them do the weigh-in, and they done kind of like that. But that's when Ray Scott was kind of like that. He'd get you talking. He'd get it going where you knew you had to hang on to see what's going, and that's
Yeah.
what Mercer is. Mercer, And I like what he said, but whenever he talking the other day about Dylan, interviewing Dylan, he said I had to keep I had to keep my language down because I could really say something that because his last name being Nut.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean that's how it was. And it was probably like 3-ish plus hours and people didn't leave. They
No,
stayed. I was literally in that seat for 3.5 hours. And people get into it and they don't and they stay and they don't just leave out because they're
no,
bored or whatever. It's very entertaining.
it's
They be
very
tossing out
entertaining.
stuff and the fans get hats and stuff and koozies. So that was really cool. So Randy, should they keep the classic in the same city Knoxville, or should they move it like they are as they head to Lake Hartwell next year? Should it stay or should it go elsewhere?
My suggestion is I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I
Don't get me
agree.
wrong. I would love for it to be at Knoxville every year because we could go to it. We wouldn't have to travel as far.
Right.
But they got to keep it busted up because people would be more, you know what I mean? And it changes the fishing too. And it makes people see, you know what I mean? If they went back there next year, people will be all over where Dylan was fishing at. You know what I mean? And that's the way bass is. They're territorial uh, species, but they'll move out a lot of times. I mean, I may catch fish. I know where I fished at yesterday. I've caught all kinds of fish there, but they wasn't there, and that's the way it is. But they gotta. They're. I mean, they're going to Hartwell, which I think that's Greenville, South Carolina. That's
Yeah.
not that far for us to drive, and I mean, and it
Yeah.
all depends on what that weekend holds. I liable to drive that far just to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I was checking online about it. Yeah, like you said, it really ain't that far away, and it's just a good. You take a little day trip down there or so,
Yeah.
or get a hotel if you wanted to. Spend the day down there, do a little tour stuff down there, and head back
Hmm.
the next day.
That's one lake I've never fished. I mean, I got lakes on my bucket list. I'd love to fish. And Hartwell's one of them,
Okay.
and it's going to be. And I'm going to tell you this, say this: them boys better watch it. Dylan Nutt ain't on the Bassmaster Elite Series this year. He's fishing other things. Don't get me. He's going to be on Hartwell before the Classic next year, and he's going to know some spots. He's going to be hard to handle. He could be a repeat. You've got a few of them that's
Oh
won the Classic 2 times in a row. He can do it. He could do it.
Coming up March 26th to 29th is the Elite Series head to Tama Bigby Lake. So that's going to be coming up. Was it next weekend? So that's
Yeah,
going to be
next
something
weekend.
coming
Yeah.
up. You got any thoughts for that lake there, Randy, and
I
what to
don't know
expect?
much about that lake, so I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if they've ever been on that lake. I don't think they've. If they have, it's been years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be. It's kind of I think it's kind of like a lake and a slash river system. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And I mean, I don't. It's going to be. I'm interested in watching and see what it's doing because I think ain't it part of the Tennessee River?
I think it is.
Tennessee and Mississippi were. I think
Yeah,
it's where Tennessee and Mississippi come in together. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
yeah, it's going to
I'm
be.
looking forward to it.
Starting to get warm. The fish are starting to spawn maybe a
Yeah.
little bit, and they might
Yeah.
be active down there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what they're fixing to do. They're fixing to, what I think the fish are doing right now, from what I fished yesterday, they're in that post spawn, pre spawn mood. Or
Hmm.
pre spawn. I'm trying to get it right. Pre spawn where they're getting fixing to move up. Well, I'm gonna say in the next, I ain't looked at the calendar. When the moon phase changes, that's got a lot to do with the fishing. And when they do that, they're going to be starting to spawn. And when they start to spawn, you got these little baits like this. It's called a baby brush hog. It's
Yeah,
part of a zoom. I think I seen you had some the other
yeah,
day.
yeah. I've got some of them to talk about. Absolutely,
These
yeah.
things right here, them fish come up there on they're on that bed, and they're laying there and they're fanning their tails, laying them eggs and laying them shooting out them minnows for the babies. And this thing right here looks like a lizard, crawl, whatever. And so you got to give them the crawls. That's a zoom bait. They come up there and it's that fish thinking they're fixing to take they're protecting their babies. You know, like a mama protects their babies. You know what I mean? And they're going to take it, they're going to eat that thing. And you could do that, and you can do it like this too. What I've noticed, this is what you've probably heard them call a wacky rig.
Oh,
You
okay.
throw that up there, and it sits like that, and it does that, and it just drives the fish crazy on bed. and they'll eat that up too. That's what I think they're fixing to do because the water temperature is getting. I noticed it yesterday. Some places it was 57, 58. Some places it's 60. When it starts getting above 60 degrees, the fish will start spawning. And so that's why I'm thinking, I mean, it could do it right before the moon phase, but I'd say that's what's going to make it. This fish is going to be spawning. And after you catch them good, there you can catch them on a spawn,
Mhm.
but it's really better before the spawn and after the spawn. And why I think everybody, I'll give Seth. I'm gonna say this too. Seth asked why the weights changed so much.
Yeah.
I said it was part of the way the fish was, the Tennessee thing, but also the fish feeds off of how to say it. You know, Sunday, Saturday and Sunday it was nice. And Monday, boy, that snow come in.
Oh yeah.
The barometric pressure changed so much. And if you can catch if you can go fishing before the weather changes, you'll whack them. I mean, and I know that firsthand because I remember years ago when I was in high school, I was off for spring break. My daddy took off for spring break and he said, "We're going to fish every day." And I'm like, "Great, great, great. I won't have to go to work nowhere and go fishing." So we went fishing, and that one day, we come down here to Nickajack, and I mean, we whacked them. I bet you we caught over 40 fish, maybe even more. We had two or three over six. And he went back and told my best friend's dad, and he said, "Let's go down there and let's catch some more fish." And the next night, there was a front come through. The wind picked up and it started raining and it quit raining and it turned cold. And everywhere where we was fishing at, the fish wasn't there. Or they might have been there, but they wouldn't bite. And Daddy said it was because that front just come through. And that's why I think they whacked them real good too. Not just because of the Tennessee stocking program, but I do believe it's because the weather changed. And I think that's what's made a big difference. What made a big difference. And I mean, I say we're going to stay warm. I'm not going to say. Well, if you look outside right now, it's probably in the mid 80s. It's already getting warm. But I mean, I don't think we're going to have that much of a weather change, big change like what we had. And like I said, I think when the moon phases, them fish will be up spawning.
I got one for you. What is your favorite lake to fish? You got Tennessee River, you got Nickajack. What is your favorite lake slash river to fish, Randy?
I love fishing Gunnersville. I do love fishing Gunnersville. I think yesterday, even though it was tough, I think I could have caught more fish on Gunnersville. I guess I have more favor towards Gunnersville because it keeps grass in it all year round. And the grass is what I've learned to fish off of. And fish go to grass. And it's easy to find fish. Now, that's probably one of my best lakes. I love fishing is Gunnersville. And and I fish it. Probably the next one is either Chickamauga or Nickajack. And I mean, and I fished, used to fish Watch Bar up above a lot, but I don't fish it as much anymore. But I heard it's turning on. I think I went up there 2 years ago and fished it. Me and my dad went up there and fished it. It's just, but I love Gunnersville. I mean, that's just one of the best. I'm gonna try to veer out more and fish more lakes, but I love fishing Gunnersville. That's why when we take our camper, that's where we take it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we stay down there, and I'm fixing to head down there next month,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be down there for two. I'm gonna be off work for a whole week, and that's what I'm gonna do that whole week. I've got a cousin that's coming in from California, and he's never fished Gunnersville. Gunnersville is one of the top lakes. You'll see the top 50 lakes. It's in probably the top 10. It might be even in the top 5 now. And and I said, well, he said, "I want to go fish it, and I want you to put me on some fish." I said, "I can't guarantee you we'll catch a lot of fish, but I think we can catch some fish." And that's probably one of my best lakes to fish.
Yeah, that's what I always hear, Randy. I hear it's a good lake. It's known for fishing. It's
Yeah,
well stocked, I would say, and they keep the
yeah.
fish in there, and people go down there and they catch them, and they get big down there, Randy. And that's a fishing heaven, I
And
guess you could say.
I'll be doing. They got a good program going on down there. It's called Bass for Cash.
Okay.
You pay. It's not. it's not really a tournament, but from 1st of March to July the 4th, you pay $60. And if you catch a fish with a tag on it, hanging off their gills, you win $1,000. And I'm thinking, as much as we're down there, I mean,
Yeah.
I could. It ain't gonna hurt me to spend $60 to do this. And look at you. I've never won one, but I've heard people doing it. And I mean, the guy he stocks it. He puts over 200 tags on a fish. And before you do it, you can say they'll tell you how many tags they still got out there. I think they still got over 150 tags out there right now. But and one of the tag will have a bass boat, a new Phoenix. It's already been caught though, and then one of them's a new Dodge Ram. And then they'll have the other ones. And then if you buy a T-shirt, which is $20 more, just pay $20. You can buy that you can pay that for a T-shirt anyway, and he'll say Bass for Cash 2026. If you catch one with that, you get an extra $500. So $80, you could win up to $1,500. And I mean, you could get on them and catch two of them in the same day. So I mean, I'm going to do it. I'll say my cousin, he'll do it too, just because I mean, people they've already shown it on Facebook. Some of the people that's catching them, they come in from Connecticut and everywhere catching them. I mean, it'd be worth it. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to shift it into some springtime fishing. First, we're going to go into some different brands, Randy. You got the Impulse, you got Strike King, you got some Zoom. Which one do you prefer the best, Randy?
I like Zoom. I like this Zoom here. This is a speed worm right here. What I like doing with it, I throw in a lot Texas rig with a. Well, I ain't got a weight with me, but I'll throw it Texas rig. I'll rig it up. Take it to. Well, I just dropped it. Let me grab another one. Here. Got me on them. You got me on the ball. You take it and you hook it right through there like this.
Yeah.
And you bring it up, and then you bring this hook back through the worm like that. And what I do is that I throw that out there on grass, any type of grass. I'll put a real light weight, and you just slowly roll it, Just throw it out there and reel it, and that's what I like doing. I mean, I'm not one to sit there and watch my bait line. I like reeling. Yeah. So in this right here, you can just throw it out there, and you just reel it across through there. And when a fish grabs it, man, you know it. I like the Zoom, and I like the power bait. Power bait.
Yeah.
And I use this right here too some now. I've got back. This is an old, it's called a Yamamoto. Gary Yamamoto started it. It's called a Cinco. It's just this is a shorter one, but it's a long, stringy, just looks like a minnow. They say it just floats through the water like a dying minnow, and I'll throw that a lot. But probably my best bait, I'm a Berkeley man. I love throwing Berkeley power bait, any type of Berkeley. You got Berkeley power bait, you got Berkeley Max scent, any of that type of bait, and I'll throw the Zoom. And when I throw the Zoom, I ain't got it with me. I got some type of gel that they make called thump gel, and I put it on there. It adds a scent to it that helps attract fish.
So these fish, Randy, they deep right now, or are they shallow?
I think they're in a mix. I think they're some of them are still out deep, say 10 to 15 foot of water. I think they're right there at the edge of the drop, fixing to come up shallow. That's my opinion on what they're doing right now. Now, some people may be catching them shallow, dirt shallow. I've heard them catching them dirt shallow, and I say they're starting to do that with the way the weather's been. When it warms up like it does, that's what they start doing.
Right? Any tips for guys getting out there just trying to learn about fishing? From tips from what to buy or how to fish them.
Well, if the best tip I can tell you, find you a good pond, lake, even over at Chickamauga. Get you a good reel, a rod and reel that you can throw, whatever you feel comfortable throwing, and get you a little crankbait it's called a square bill. I ain't got none on me. I meant to get some, and just take it and throw it out there and reel it real slow. Even if you wanted to do this, well, I like throwing plastic baits a lot. You'll see me always got a lot of plastics, like this Texas rig right here. You put you a small worm sinker up here, and it'll help you throw it further.
Mm-hmm.
You can just throw it out there. There's so many ways you can fish it. There is no wrong way to fish it. Like I said, I'll throw it out there and let it set. I'm gonna hit whatever it's going to hit, and then you just slow reel it. Just do that. Don't, you know what I mean? Slow reel it and everything. If you feel something, stop it. Just stop your bait and kind of hold it there and see if you feel anything, set the hook. That's the best technique. Just throw something, and if it's something you're familiar with and you got confidence in, throw it. But if I was doing it, because thing about it, you get a pack of these worms. You get like this worm right here. They 15 in this pack. It's $4. That's $4. So you do the math. These hooks, you get a pack of 20 for $4. You get a sinkers for about the same. So you're looking at $12, and you got 15 baits right here.
There you go.
And that's just something. And think about it, you're not got a lot of money in it. So if you lose it, you're not hurt.
Yeah.
Or if you get some of these baits now, I mean, I didn't know it, but I was listening to a podcast yesterday on my way home. It's one of the guys that does the Bass for Cash, and they was talking about some of these big glide baits. I didn't know some of them glide baits are $100 and $150. I believe if I lost one of them, I'd be trying to chase that thing down and find it, because that would really hurt if you lost one of them. And people throw them. I mean, I don't know if I could throw that much money. $20 to $25 is most I've ever spent on bait. That's probably most I'll ever spend on bait.
Yeah.
My wife's sitting over here, yep. But I mean, that's a lot of money. If you lose it, it's just, I mean, and some of the chatterbaits that I throw, and I throw a chatterbait a lot. And that's another good, I've heard a lot of people pick up you call it chatterbait or a vibrating jig. That's another good bait to learn how to throw. You can throw it just like what I said, just whatever good rod and reel you got confidence in, put it on there and throw it. And when you throw it, reel it slow. And that chatterbait will make a vibration. Probably when I take you and your wife, I'll probably have one of them tied on and another thing tied on, because it's real easy to learn to throw. And that's what we'll probably start you out with.
All right. I got one last question for you. Do you like the Bassmasters better, or do you like the Major League Fishing tournament better?
That's a hard decision. I like them both. I guess what I do like about the Major League Fishing is every fish counts. And when they catch a fish, they weigh it in right there at the boat, and they write that weight down and toss it back. That is great for the conservation. I mean, that's just now the Bassmasters. What I like about it's kind of old school to because you got to catch 5 fish, but you got to put them in your live well. That does hurt you fit. I mean, these live wells now are better than they used to be, so they will keep them a little more lively and stuff. And they got stuff that they put in them and stuff. And I mean, they've changed so much. But I don't know. I would say I probably would do. I like them both. It's hard to make a decision. I probably would say I lean more towards the Bassmasters just because it's more old school. But I'm not. I do like the way the Major League Fishing, but it's only in that one circuit, that pro circuit, in the Bass Pro Tour. It's only 40 guys that get to do that. The other series that the Bass Pro Tour does, you got the pro circuit. They do 5 fish. So I mean, they're not all. So I mean, it's kind of. I know a lot of but I probably would say I like the Bassmasters a little bit better. Yeah. They do have a better, and I've even heard them talk about it. You got the Classic. That Classic is something that just it's amazing. You went to it, you see how great it is. Bass Pro Tour, they got something called Red Crest, and they don't have
Oh.
half the people show up yet like they will. And last year they was in Huntsville for it,
Mm.
so that wasn't that far. And I mean, I was down there at the campground when they was fishing. But
Yeah.
I didn't go
There you
there
go.
because I know they don't have all the stuff that the Classic does.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough for me. I probably would say Bassmasters as well. I think it just feels a little bit better. They got the big event up there with the Classic. They got some
Yeah,
good guys that fish with them. They got some good spots that they go to, different towns and
yeah.
cities. It's really tough, but I'm probably getting me a hat of one of them, and I was trying to pick which hat I was going to get. So I might go with the Bassmasters, trying to get some swag on some of these
Get
fishing,
some swag.
get some swag. And I was kind of looking last night, so I was going, I'll ask Randy about his thoughts on that.
Yeah, I liked the bat. It was probably. I mean, it's a hard decision to make. But it
Yeah.
probably come down to it. It'd probably be the Bassmasters, just because. I mean, look at that Classic. That Classic was just amazing, and to go to the weigh-in, and I mean, it's just the way they do that. It's just, I mean, it gets you ready to go fishing.
It does. It got me ready to go fishing, and I went that next weekend. So that's a very good point. All right, March Madness, real quick update here for you, Randy. You're not doing the best. You're kind of there at the bottom, but I'm right there with you, so I don't got much to say because I'm right there at the bottom with you. But it's a lot of fun. For all those that joined, I want to say
I
thank you
know.
for
I
joining the
enjoyed it.
group.
I enjoyed it.
It's a lot of fun to.
Somebody asked me at church, said, "Did you ever do? Did you do a bracket?" I said, "Yeah." And the boy I'm doing a podcast with, they done one. And I said, "I'm dead last right now." I said, "But I figured that's what's going to happen anyway." But I mean, I just got to work. I was looking at them names, and I didn't know half the teams that was there, and I just thought, well, this team looked like he'll win. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I'll kind of come down to some luck, but some guys are good at knowing who's going to win, and
yeah.
they get
I
them
mean,
right. And so,
hey, I'm gonna say this: your daddy's doing good.
yeah, he's at the top. He's
He's at the
looking
top.
good.
You said he just said he didn't know how good he'd do. I'm like, yeah, he's a car salesman. He knows how to bluff us. He's throwing the bluff on us. He gonna put the schooling on us this week. We're gonna have to
Yeah,
listen to him more often.
yeah, he's got the lead, and I don't think he's looking back. He might take the win from us, and hey, he got it done.
But I'll
So,
say this: I picked the same winner he did for winning it all. I said
okay,
Duke's gonna win it
yeah,
all. I think you did too, didn't you?
yeah, I did too.
Even
Yeah,
Casper.
even guys,
Mark,
even
the
guys.
only one went different. I know that I know of. He went from Michigan.
Yeah, I think Mark was up all night. I think trying to get his teams lined up. He won't say it, but I think he was
Yeah, Mark's
really.
bluffing too. He's a good bluffer.
Yeah, you gotta watch Mark. He'll bluff you for
He'll
sure.
bluff you for sure. That's for sure.
Oh man, but it's been fun to have this little tournament and that work. We go back and forth
No, I
during
love
break
it.
time. And
I'm ready. I'm glad. I hope you keep more brackets coming because it is fun. It's fun to cut up and aggravate each other who's doing good and who ain't. I mean, that's
yeah,
just good, clean fun. I mean, I love it.
oh yeah, I'll have to check out some for like football or baseball and kind of get some different ones going for us to sign up for and
I
compete
know
and see how it does.
a couple at church. They've been married for quite a while, and Thursday nights that's what they do since March Madness is they do the March Madness bracket for each other, and they said
Yeah.
they do the draft. They'll
Oh.
compete on who's going to do the draft, and you know what I mean. They just for fun.
All right, Randy, you got anything else for the show?
I can't think of nothing right offhand.
I can't either. All right, we will see y'all back on Thursday night with Casper and myself. Casper and I will kind of go over some college basketball and some other news that we hear, and we'll cover it all Thursday night. So come on back, and we will have that show for y'all. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being tuned in, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube. Add us to your library on Spotify and Apple Podcast. You got any fan mail? You can put it down below in the comments there on YouTube or Spotify. Thanks for coming on, Randy.
Thank you for letting me be on. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. And then you find us on Facebook and Instagram. I've got all the reels out and pictures on Facebook, so give us a follow on the Facebook page. And with that being said, I'm going to say see you in the next one.